Apsheni ma-Africa, asante kwa kutanzama King Says So. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm quite impressed with Action SA's provincial leader in KwaZulu-Natal, Kwakele, who has discovered that there are hospitals in KwaZulu-Natal where the tuck shops are ran by foreigners. Now that is against the law, if some of you don't know. He has pointed this out in Newcastle, also in Matateni, also in Kwadongoma or Nongoma, if you like. And he went there to go and investigate this thing himself. And he said, I'm going there to investigate if this is indeed true. And yes, he found a Pakistani at Nongoma running a tuck shop with no contract with the Department of Public Works or the Department of Health, which is crazy. Then where are you paying your rent? Where are you paying your electricity? How are they billing you for using that space? You know, one of the Pakistanis who's running the shops there in a hospital said, I bought the shop from an African sister. I was disappointed. Futi ama African. So I want us to talk about this video because I think Action SA, I've always said I don't understand why people vote Action SA, but slowly and surely I'm starting to understand that Action SA actually cares about the people of this country, starting with our mayor there in Mncwango, Umoya. And I was like, hey, Action SA is in action indeed. Let's talk about that and much more.
Welcome to King Said So, Africa's one land, one language, one currency, one army on King Said So. Africans can unite. Your Pan-Africanist podcast. Enjoy.
Peace in Pan-Africanism to all my African brothers and sisters from all around the world. Welcome back to King Says So. I am your host, Kagiso Hlongwane Zinjiva Sono, and we're back at it again with another one. And this time around, we are talking about Action SA Kwakele, who has discovered a disturbing discovery in hospitals. That, you know what? Actually, I must also go and check in these hospitals that we have in South Africa. Who, I mean, here in my province, Northern Cape, who is running the tuck shops there? Because this is a big thing, man. You know, number one, we had an issue with tuck shops not being registered after a lot of children were unalived. You know, and the evidence were pointing out that they ate contaminated goods. You know, nobody was arrested according to my knowledge. No tuck shop was permanently closed. They were temporarily closed and reopened again, and most of it happened there in Soweto. And now a person was asking himself, what is the country going to do about this? We saw our country taking steps, giving them, I think, 3 weeks to register, and then they postponed it, and then to 28 February. Still, the Pakistanis, the foreigners who run tuck shops in South Africa are saying they are having a difficulty working with the municipalities in terms of the registration. The municipalities is asking for money that they don't have, blah, blah, blah. And all of that is continuing in South Africa. Remember, South Africans got angry about that for 2 seconds, and now we have moved on to other topics. I always tell you guys that we as African people, black people in particular, must be careful of the great distraction. We are always distracted every week about something. So in our distraction, we don't talk about getting back our land. We don't talk about preserving our culture. We don't talk about African unity. We are always distracted about every week there's something new that we are talking about that does not take us forward as African people. And by the end of the year, we are shocked. Oh, now it's 32 years after democracy. We have not done anything. We don't build schools. We don't build institutions. We don't build things that take us as a group, as black people, forward. Because we are always, there's always that tribal but not racist, tribal discrimination that is happening amongst us. Excuse me, my mind was lost there. So that tribal discrimination that's happening, if it's not tribal, is according, you come from Northwest, I come from Eastern Cape, you can't come work in KwaZulu-Natal. There's always that fight that is happening. Oh, you voting EFF, I'm voting MK, you voting MK, I'm voting ANC. We are always fighting about something in South Africa. And here is one more time another distraction that has happened in front of our face. So very impressed with KwaZulu-Natal chairperson of Action SA, Kwakele, for pointing this thing out for us. The question is, did you South Africans that stay in those cities not know about this? Or did you just not mind? Or maybe you thought things are in order. This Pakistani has won a tender from the Department of Health, or maybe they bought it from someone. My question is, the people who stay in those towns, go to those hospitals, ANC leaders, all of these leaders, you guys did not see anything wrong about it. Let's watch the first video where he was talking about going to investigate this thing. And he was saying, I'm not doing this for a crowd. If you want to join, join. But if you don't want to join, it's fine. Let's listen to it.
Ngithi angicacise nje ukuthi kusasa ngo-10 o'clock ngizobe ngilapha eBenedictine kwaNongoma. Ngihamba ngedwa, angiyona imash. Kodwa ofuna ungijoyina engahamba nami, engeza. Inhloso ukuyozwa kwi-management ukuthi kungani i-tuckshop yasesibhedlela yagcina inikezwa umuntu oyi-foreigner. Ayengekho umuntu waNongoma, wayengekho umuntu wase-KZN, eZululand, eSouth Africa. Yini lena engenza uzujampe bonke abantu in this country uyofuna umuntu oyi-foreigner? Noma ngabe kuthiwa illegal noma ulegal, kodwa kusalayo ukuthi umuntu olaphayana kuthiwa uyi-foreigner. Okwami kusasa ukuyoqinisekisa ukuthi ngempela lo muntu uyi-foreigner, nanokuthi izathu ezenza lokho azanikwe lo msebenzi bengaka abantu eSouth Africa abangenza lo msebenzi, kwenzakala kanjani. Ngabe upublic works owenza lokho, ngabe isibhedlela esenza lokho, ngabe yanikwa umuntu wala South Africa yena wayinikwa ngaphandle, asazi izathu nama-answers alokho. Yilokho enguyele kusasa ukuthola kwenzakalani. Kodwa ekugcineni ukuthi njengabantu bakwaNongoma, cha, ngesivuma ukuxhashazwa. Le enze yakwaNongoma kuzomela iphele. Futhi kuzomela iphele nje maduze. Kusasa ke umnqamla juqu. Mina ngifuna ukuzwa ukuthi kwenzakaleni, nanokuthi kuya phambili kwenzakalani. Ngoba cha yena impela lo muntu othula lapha ama uthi impela ukhona, hayi asimdingi, siyabonga. Kusasa 10 o'clock kwaNongoma.
Now this is leadership. A leader taking it upon himself. Remember, the Action SA is not in power in KwaZulu-Natal. They are not part of the government of provincial unity. They are not part of that. So it was good to see this leader standing up and say, listen, we are going to investigate this issue and get to the bottom of it. I really have to commend it. Now, the investigation revealed that there are tuck shops foreigners that are running tuck shop in hospital for 8 years. 8 years. No contract with the Department of Public Works. No contract with the hospital that they are operating in, the Department of Health. How does that make sense? How? And I'm speaking specifically about Nongoma, where he went, and he was like, how? How do you guys get it right? No contract. How did you get this tender? Because a tender has been awarded to South Africans to run that tuck shop there, and that is a form of motivating or inspiring business owners to keep busy, create jobs and everything. So at hospitals, at least you are sure that your customers are there each and every day. So you can't fail running a tuck shop in a hospital. It will be you who is careless and who does not understand business, who can make that business go to the ground. But for the mere fact that in Newcastle, in Ematadeni, and Nongoma. There are tuck shops that, and probably there are more. There is more other places in South Africa where this thing has to be, exposed. So I'm going to go to the hospital in South Africa, here in Kimberley. Why am I saying South Africa? In Kimberley, and go and check who's running the tuck shop there. But last time I checked, it was African people. And also another interesting thing to check is that who's then running the tuck shops in the private hospitals. Is it South African? Is it South African owned? The private hospitals, are they running those? Those type of things bring about equality in South Africa. It's things that we must not overlook and say, no, they are private, they can do whatever they want. In government, we can. That is why transformation never happens. Because we have left those who have colonized us and we have called them private because they are in the mining sector, financial sector, and everything. And transformation does not happen in South Africa. That's the main problem. So I want us to look at what he said about the MEC of Public Works assisting him in closing those tuck shops immediately. And I was so disappointed to find out who the MEC of Public Works is, but you'll understand my reason right now. Listen to this.
Ngicela ukubonga uMEC wa Public Works ngoba ayijwayelekile lento yokuthi oMEC ba-account and take decisive decision. uMEC wa Public Works ngaqinisekisa manje ukuthi usevule uphenyo ngodaba lwamaspaza shop or tuck shop yakwaNongoma eBritish Hospital, eyase Newcastle Hospital eNemadadeni. Ngikhuluma nje kumanje ngaqinisekisa futhi ukuthi MEC usekhiphe i-instruction yokuthi awavalwe lama tuck shop as we speak. KwaNongoma uyathutha. Njengoba ngishilo nje izolo ukuthi uzoqoqa yena, cha namanje ngakonfirma ukuthi cha KwaNongoma kumanje uyapakisha, uyaphuma. Kufanele ngibonge ku-MEC ngoba abanye o-MEC ba-arrogant, abafuni ukulalela uma kukhuluma abantu, but u-MEC mayor have listened. Siyabonga.
Yeah, listen, as South Africans, we must take ourselves serious, man. Well, my problem is that people went to those hospitals. It's like the level of tolerance that we have in South Africa. Hi, man, the level of tolerance that we have is level 1 billion. It's like 100 million trillion, Baba. We tolerate at a different level. My friend, how are you? At a hospital, my friend, at a hospital, you are buying. You see absolutely no problem about that. So the MEC that is talking about, for those who are interested like me, because when he said the MEC was very helpful and whatever, I was like, who's this MEC? Because in KwaZulu-Natal is what is that small party? Is ANC, the DA, the Inkatha, and another small party that formulated the provincial government there. And I was thinking, let it be an African MEC that actually stood up from Inkatha or from the ANC. Oh, the MEC of Public Works is Martin Meyer from the Democratic Alliance. And now it is time for us to say congratulations and well done to that MEC of Public Works, Mr. Martin Meyer. Yeah, I'm saying it on record. Job well done to Mr. Martin Meyer for closing those tuck shops. When you are patriotic to your people, this is what you do. This is how you behave. And we are crediting Action SA for taking all the actions that they did. But also, this MEC of Public Works, who is the MEC of Health anyway? I think that must be investigated also. Who is the MEC of Health? I did not check that before this video. You'll excuse me, but I'll post the MEC of Health here. The MEC of Health did not do a good job. They don't do their walkarounds. Newly appointed, going around the hospitals, checking everything. They did not do their job, because if they did, they would know about this. But the MEC of Public Works, Mr. Martin Meyer, has they brought this to his attention. He's the custodian of state-owned properties, which hospital is an asset of public works. So he took action because those people cannot be operating there without a contract. So I guess slowly but surely, I'm starting to understand why people are voting Action SA. Their people are proactive. Herman Mashaba did also well when he was the mayor of Joburg, with the assistance, of course, with the EFF and the other parties. But it takes a leader to work with those people to make it a success. It's the DA that turned against him for working with the EFF. The influence of the EFF cannot be undermined in what happened in Johannesburg and what is happening right now there in Mncwango. So that was very good. But right now, I have to say congratulations and job well done to Martin Mayor and also Kwakele. Thank you so much for the work that you are doing. Action SA, I take my head off for you. I was critical about this political party. What do you stand for? Are you for African people, or are you also this thing that we? You know what? I was just critical, saying, hey, what's the difference between BOSA and Action SA and all of these parties that come from the DA and all of those stuff? But Action SA, they are slowly winning me over, and I think we as content creators who are mostly focused on ANC, EFF and the MK political party, because that's the parties that I want to see do great work. But unfortunately, most of the time it's negative work that we are reporting. So yeah, I'm quite impressed with Action SA, and well done again to Mr. Kwakele for the great job that he did. Until we meet again, don't forget to pray. But after you pray, stand up, African child, do your best so that God can do the rest. Peace in Pan Africanism. I salute you.